Let's get right to it. Another historic indictment against former President Donald Trump.
The Attorney General says this was the largest investigation the Justice Department has ever carried out. The result, that is, 4 felony charges of conspiracy. Trump is accused of repeatedly lying about the election results, conspiring to defraud the nation, and perhaps most seriously, conspiring to violate the constitutionally guaranteed right to vote. Trump will appear in court to face the charges on Thursday. The judge presiding over the case was appointed by President Obama and has handed down some of the harshest rulings against January 6 defendants.
The special counsel said Trump's alleged lies helped fuel the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Scott Schneider here now with a strong reaction from the former president and others.
Yeah, Corey and Don, strong, and many would say extreme in this statement. The former president's campaign uses the words corrupt, pathetic, and witch hunt, and it includes this quote: "These persecutions of President Trump and his followers is reminiscent of Nazi Germany." I spoke to a former prosecutor and an expert in political science. Both agree today's indictment supersedes all others.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6th, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
For the third time this year, former President Donald Trump has been indicted. Today's charge is tied to one of the darkest days in recent memory, the January 6th Capitol riot. Former federal prosecutor Pat Brady believes the gravity of today's indictment far outweighs charges Trump currently faces both in New York and in Florida.
Maybe they should stand down. They're not going to blow their statute of limitations. And then we actually get the case tried that needs to be tried, is whether or not the former president tried to illegally overturn a lawful election.
Professor Stephen Caliendo from North Central College in Naperville agrees today's indictment should take precedent. But Trump's legal problems are likely to get even more dire next week in Atlanta, and that could complicate matters for prosecutors.
But then if we have an indictment in Georgia, which seems to be forthcoming any day now, and then, of course, we have the situation still in New York and in Florida, those all can be discussed, because as a defendant, he has the right to assemble a legal team and to defend himself. And so he has to have time to do that.
With every indictment, Trump has cast himself as the victim of the weaponization of the American political system. Brady believes getting back to the White House may be his only means of escaping incarceration.
I mean, this is all in for him. He either wins this presidential race or he's going to go to the penitentiary for 4 or 5 years.
Trump's indictment is likely to reignite debate in the court of public opinion. Caliendo believes Trump's base has already made up their minds on his innocence in all of the charges he faces.
There's a core group of people, and we've spoken about this, maybe 37% of the public. Nothing will sway them. Absolutely nothing will sway them.
We have more team coverage ahead at 9:30. What Trump's Republican rivals are saying about today's bombshell.